From within the hands of Al-Ka, the spirit formed with water, we first created man in the name of Amun-Ra, Adam. From within a mud hole filled with water and matters of the earth, holding him with our right hand and forming him with our left until complete within Al-Ka, the spirit of Amun-Ra, the oneness, and speaking upon him the first known words of man once complete, which were, you be unto me as the Son unto the Father, and naming him Amun-Ra, the oneness, within honor of Al-Ka, the spirit of the Son and the Father within him, within his spiritual embodiment, by allowing the two spirits of the Son and Father to become one flesh, the same as within Amun-Ra Ka, the oneness spirit within the name of Amun-Ra, the oneness. Upon so the archangel said, may all the Lord's angels learn to pray and worship him. And it was the spirit of the angel Horus, Saturn, first to offend he within his indecency, as it was only he to refuse the honor and worship him as instructed by the archangel as head of the church before he as the father of humanity. And so the archangel asked of Horus, what would you have me do? And Horus asked for dominion and rule all over the earth, Geb, as a means to measure and test those in true spirit. And for this Horus, Satan, was then given dominion of the earth into a time of retribution. So it was, and from this the archangel Capria, Gabriel, or Caprius, within Amun-Ra Ka, the oneness spirit, began to teach Amun-Ra, the oneness, all that there was to know and learn about the world and things of the earth, as well as our solar system within the faith of Mazzaroth as all in all. And in time as man, Amun-Ra, the oneness, matured, and the world the Lord created was without companion for him within creation as man. And for this the archangel chose to create life once more from within him upon the earth within Amun-Ra, the oneness, within the spirit of Amun-Ra, the oneness, thus so allowing Amun-Ra, the oneness, by placing him within a deep trance within Al-Ka, the spirit, and impregnating him with Al-Ka, the spirit of Amun-Ra, the oneness. So it too came to pass, and it was that within 9 months as man, Amun-Ra, the oneness, carried that of a fetus formed within Al-Ka, the spirit of Amun-Ra, the oneness spirit, until giving birth to the firstborn of the world and Hebrew Israelites in the form of a female who was named Zeus, Eve, who was born from under the lower rib beneath the skin. And like Amun-Ra, the oneness, Zeus too was then raised and taught by all in all within the faith of Amun-Ra. Then came the day when the world of the Hebrews came into trouble, and the archangel told Zeus, Eve, not to expose her indecency to Amun-Ra, Adam. And Al-Ka, the spirit of Horus, Saturn, told her, I can show you how to make more than one or two people. And she said, thou shalt not disobey the words of the true living God. And the double Horus said, there is more than one or two things you can do with it. And she said, I ought not, for I dare not disobey, for I live in fear of the day when I stand in sight of my Lord. And the double Horus said, for surely he will not look upon you. And she quietly presented herself before him. And the day of disobedience was ordained. And so she stood within the sight of him as Amun-Ra, Adam. And the Al-Ka, the spirit of the double Horus, said unto him, these are the things I want you to do on behalf of the Son and the Father, and show her how pleasurable it is to make both fleshes as pleasurable as one. And he said, we wish not compete with the indecencies of the double Horus. And Horus, the double, said to him, that I assure you that there is nothing more pleasurable than her. And for this he became aroused and entered her and found new unfound pleasures. And the world of Obidas, the obedient, now belonged to the double Horus based on the disobedience of Adam and Zeus. And Zeus became pregnant, giving birth to twin sons, Isis and Osiris, 9 months later. Yet the archangel took condemnation and forgiveness upon both sons and allowed for them to exist despite Amun-Ra and Zeus' disobedience to him. And so as children they grew and learned the same as their parents within the faith of all in all within Upper Egypt. And although both were dear to his heart as children of Amun-Ra Ka, the archangel willed the day when Isis killed Osiris and accosted Zeus, and Osiris began to cry out from Al-Ka, the spirit of Amun-Ra, the oneness, as our first mortar within the faith of the Hebrews. From this, the archangel then began to comfort Osiris. And knowing Osiris was closer to his heart more than Isis, he knew Osiris would return back to him within Amun Ra Ka, the one in spirit, as Aten, the one God. And then the archangel thought to kill Isis as well, but Osiris spoke out on his brother's behalf as well, as stating, "But this is the one thing I wish that you not do," and finding forgiveness and salvation for his brother within Amun Ra Ka. Instead, he asked of the archangel Caprias to allow him the gift of life once more from within the womb of Zeus as his mother. And so it was, and the archangel granted us so upon him. And Zeus became pregnant after being accosted by Isis and the death of Osiris, with the new temple of the incarnated spirit of Osiris giving birth to the ancient Egyptian Hebrew god Anubis 9 months later, which established the faith within the power of the Hebrews, which became the teachings of our deen, as well as that of the faith in the Messiah to come, our martyr within the name of Yeshua, 5,500 years before the New Testament, as Amun-Ra himself. Now, you have to realize that within the faith of the ancient Egyptian Hebrew Israelites, Osiris was our first martyr, and Osiris spoke out from the grave, and he asked for life once more after his death, and he was granted life, but he had to be born again within the womb of Zeus as his mother, and so he became Anubis. And when we go to the New Testament and we talk about the crucifixion and resurrection of Yeshua, Yeshua too is born again within the second coming, but he bears witness to the spirit within the New Testament through the apostles, and that is the faith of the ancient Egyptian Hebrew Israelites, and that has always been our deen. So Yeshua wasn't our first martyr, but Osiris was.